Hey, welcome back. I am Morgan the Mogul, and you are watching our continuation of the series, Kindle Unlimited Case Study, How Absurd Romances Become Money. And so if you have not yet seen the first video, boom, go check it out, watch it. It gives you a good overview of what we are trying to do. So, switch over. There we go. So if you remember just, from that video, you know that we are working on creating a bunch of different short, absurd romance novels. And I like absurd ones. You might prefer more dramatic ones or more space odyssey ones or billionaire or whatever one. My point is that there is an audience, no matter what kind of romance that you personally like to write, there is an audience for you and people waiting on you to make all of these really cool stories. So I will say that you definitely want to enjoy the process and enjoy writing the books. If you're kind of just in it to make the money, you'll probably burn out before you get to, that recommended number of books. But because I enjoy like coming up with all these ideas and premises, and we're gonna walk through that today. Like today's video is all about creating the premise card. So we'll get there. But yeah, so what I was saying is that this series is focused on like helping you, get to X number of books. All right, and we're going to use the romance reactor system in order to do that. So, if you have not yet picked up the romance reactor, I would suggest you do that. This is my process for creating my absurd romances in about 3 days, at least the first draft of it, in about 3 days without burning out. I personally started well over 27 drafts before I kind of worked through the process. Um, and so you're going to get um, my proven beat maps, which I have a 6 beat framework that is really the secret behind why these romances work really, really well. Anyway, um, what we are talking about today, boom, is creating a premise. So if you have the romance reactor, again, I'm going to drag it over here just so I can give you a little preview of what's inside. So right now we're working on the premise card, and so inside of your appendix, section 3, this ebook, by the way, has like 71 pages. You can see down here, so it's really extensive, and I really walk you through everything, including I give you like blank cards for you to fill out. So whether you want to use AI or whether you want to do it by hand, you have the information, and I also provide you examples and things like that. So there you go. So this is our blank premise card. This is what we're going to be filling out today. And I created a GTP. I usually use Chat GTP. I have a paid subscription. I recommend that you have a paid subscription. I like Chat for just for many reasons. Uh, Mostly because I started making GTPs to kind of help me move through this process. But in terms of actual writing and prose and things like that, I still like Claude better for actually writing the content itself. And, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, we're focusing on creating a awesome premise. So, all right, so you've loaded in to the StoryForge novel idea generator, and StoryForge is what I kind of called everything before I started focusing specifically on romance novels. So this right now is not publicly available, but I will be adding it into the Romance Reactor system. So just know that this is coming, and so, be patient. There's a few of these that I use and that I've created just, over the time. Because like I said, I've spent about a year and a half to 2 years kind of putting all of this together. So in that process, I created a few of these GTPs. And so we're going to start off with the StoryForge. And the idea is that it would work across any genre. But so I have three, choices. Start here if I already have an idea that I want to use. And this is like if I have a book that I kind of liked and maybe I wanted to do something kind of similar. Um, this is kind of where that is. So we're just going to click the start here, although most of you probably already have a story idea. All right. And I just totally clicked the other one. Okay. That's fine. See, do you already have a story idea rattling around your head? I can help shape it, yada yada yada. Genres, tropes, and settings. Cool. So I do have one that I like generated a minute ago that I am pulling from. So, but let me show you that one first while I'm here, because we might write that one. All right. When I say absurd, I truly mean absurd. Let me move myself up so you can see the little chat things, because usually I talk instead of typing. Hey, so I've got an idea for a story. I like absurd, funny, humorous, maybe even a little odd, weird, strange style of romance stories. I have a general global setting that I like to use. I call it Earth but Weird, in the sense of due to technology, specifically, we'll just say AI, there's been a increase in like hoax and images and video of monsters and aliens and demons and all of those types of things. So much so that the general public just doesn't believe any of these things. They've never seen them. So these are always just really entertaining type of things that people have seen online, but most people have never seen it in person, and so it's often dismissed. And so the general public does not believe in magic, monsters, aliens, demons, all of the above. So understand that concept, if you will. Okay. And in terms of ideas, let's see. A witchy librarian dating a demon bound to her grimoire. Boom. So that's kind of what I would do. I would say, just have a conversation um, with the AI. Tell it whatever you think it needs to know. So I kind of told it what kind of romances that I like, stories and things like that. Yours might be, again, you like overly dramatic, mushy stories. Maybe they're messy. I don't know, right? This is your opportunity to kind of use your own creativity and, write what you like. So I'm going to hit go, let it think. I like setting it just on think longer, and then other times I use auto. I do think that think longer does provide overall better answers. So, feel free to play with that as well. Let's see, global settings. Cool. Uh, AI-driven misinformation hoaxes everywhere to the point real supernatural stuff is hidden in plain sight because everyone assumes that it's fake. Awesome. Cool. It picked up on that just great. Core Spark. Uh, mhm. All right. So before I spin the what if exploration, and we'll go back for that. You'll understand in a minute when we do it again from I have no idea part. Okay. So would you like me to keep the tone more quirky, rom-com, snarky banner, absurd situations? Uh, uh, Good Omens or Our Flag Means Death. Uh, I assume those are other books, maybe not, or movies, not sure. Or darkly satirical, weird, but also biting commentary on AI misinformation, society, ignoring the supernatural. Okay, like it gave me like two different options, like immediately. So Um, I'm obviously going more with the first one. I definitely want to go with the absurd, quirky rom-com style. These are really meant to be entertaining. Um, I personally like the ones where the female protagonist is over 30. Um, and it should feel like just a random Tuesday and something crazy happens. All right. So while that's going, um, I read enough romance novels to be like, why are all the main characters like in their like 18 to like 25 range or something along those lines? And I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's such a small and narrow range. And so typically I like my protagonist to be over 30. Um, it's just a personal preference. Um, I just feel like it opens up different parts of life. I think it makes it a lot more relatable for your audience, just because I don't know, are the only people reading romance novels 18 to like 25? Again, personal preference. All right, so this is the what if stage. And so let's see, what if a demon bound to her grimoire accidentally gets deep faked into trending online memes? And what if the summons demon accidentally while working? What if he summons the demon accidentally while working late in the library? He now refused to leave, claiming the terms of his binding required them to go on a proper date before he'll book a return. All right, that sounds interesting. What if a demon is accidentally terrible at being demonic, bad temptations, allergic to brimstone, um, overly into cardigan? And she finds herself reluctantly coaching him to be a properly terrifying, only to realize he's falling for her. That has potential. Okay, skip that one. What if she's over 30, single, exhausted, and a grimoire is basically nagging her like a mismatched auntie? Because the demon inside is convinced they're soulmates and keeps engineering situations for them to accidentally spend time with. All right. So 5 is interesting. I think 2 and 3 are also very interesting. So we're going to come back to that. I'm actually just going to, um, if I can, maybe I can. Hold on. All right, it is not letting me. All right. So we're just going to go to new chat right quick because I want to kind of show you the process of this GTP. And you can see how easy it was for us to go from an idea in my head to, a full what if premise. So this time we're going to say you don't have an idea. I'm just going to hit start here. Okay, so from the start here, you're going to kind of, we'll build unique, dramatic, trope-powered story premises, stuff like that. So I will say that the romance trope deck is uploaded into this to kind of help All right, let's see. Again, we're just going to kind of talk to the AI a little bit. What genre? Again, because when I originally made it, I had designed it for any genre just because I like to like blend stuff. So I'm definitely the person that would make a crazy like romance thriller. Um, so I like genre blendings, and so like I said, I put in a lot of those things inside of this GTP. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for a romance. I have a global setting of like Earth but weird, where technology, AI, whatever, there's a lot of uh, videos about monsters, aliens, demons, and things like that online. But because so much of it has or is faked, any time a real one pops up, it's dismissed as fake as well. So in this setting or in this global setting, people don't believe any of these things exist, um, and often dismiss them because most people haven't had any type of personal interaction with any of these things. It's, like I said, considered just entertainment, if you will. Let's see. In terms of setting, I don't have one yet. If you can help me with that as well. Uh, so yeah, let's come up with some ideas. I mean, I kind of want you to see how um, even if you don't necessarily have an idea or a place that you want to start from, you can still get to the same place. And so I always like to give it my overall global settings, just because, again, you saw I prefer um, the different um, absurd kind of writing romances. And so when you go through any of these, you should probably have some sort of like a global setting, right? You would probably know, um, whether or not any of this stuff takes place on Earth, or whether or not it takes place on an alien planet, or whether it takes place in a forest, like whatever your global setting or vibe is. You kind of want to make sure that you give it something. All right, let's see. Finding a setting. Uh, Urban Nexus, sprawling megacity, maybe remote outpost. Academic gate, traveler. Let's see, what else? What if the fakes turn out to be real? The MC falls in love with the beginning. Uh, Everything doesn't exist. Two people opposing worldviews. Mm, 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 mm. Self is trained. Mm. So I'm thinking more of maybe some sort of a monster or magic, or alien or demon, just kind of style of romance. We're looking for something absurd, something wild, strange, something really catchy. All right. So what we've done here is we've kind of given it a little bit more information. And again, I would just say talk to um, uh, the AI to kind of help you narrow down like what you're thinking. Because you can see right now it's too close into it's still into the fakes, and the AI. So he's hired a down on her luck PR manager to rebrand his image. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so some of these are definitely interesting. I want to steer away from any of the online hoax, or anything dealing with the global setting, The global setting is specifically for your knowledge in order to ground the story inside of a world. Awesome. Okay, so we had to give it some very specific about for it to understand that the global setting is for its own internal knowledge. All right, so here we go. What if a demon prince crashes through into our world, bound to whoever first speaks its true name? Unfortunately, that person is a jaded night shift barista. Okay, you can see it ties the tropes is giving you right there. Um, what if a monster has been secretly haunting the subway tunnels of a major city, but instead of killing people, he's been saving one woman over and over, and she finally meets him face to face? Okay, that's interesting. What if an alien scout sent to study Earth ends up stranded, and the only human who stumbles across him and believes he's real is the very one he's genetically compatible with? I don't like that one as much. What if a sorceress, long thought extinct, wakes up in the modern world bound to ancient law to marry the first mortal Caesar? Not feeling that one. What if a shapeshifter begun living amongst humans for centuries, swapping identities to avoid notice? They fall for someone who recognizes them no matter what face they wear. That's somewhat interesting. I think the Demon Prince one is the best. Uh, these are okay. Can I get uh, a few more ideas? I don't think any of these right now are exciting enough to really catch anyone's attention. I'm looking for something even more absurd, something even more just crazy over the top. It's a random Tuesday and something crazy happens. Just I need like just again a little bit more, if you will. All right. So again, just the premise that it gave, they were okay, but I wanted something a little bit else, and so it's asking me, right? Absurd, batshit, unforgettable setups. Exactly. That's what we're going for. It's what I find entertaining. So, what if a woman what if a woman orders takeout on a random Tuesday, and a dragon delivers her food because DoorDash accidentally hired him after he shapeshift wrong on his job application? All right, well, okay, interesting. What if a guy is brushing his teeth, and his bathroom mirror casually opens a portal, dropping a blood-soaked demon queen onto his IKEA bath mat? Interesting. What if the moon itself texted a woman through her phone one night, confessing it's lonely, and then manifested a physical form to date her? Well, we did ask for just crazy over the top stuff, didn't we? What if a cursed vending machine spits out a vampire instead of soda? And he insists she's now his rightful master because she paid the blood price. What the fuck? I mean, okay. What if an alien warlord crash landed into the middle of a Costco, mistook the MC main character for Earth's chieftain, and immediately proposed an intergalactic marriage alliance? Okay, the latter half of that, not so much, but an alien crash landing into the middle of Costco? Okay, that has some legs. That seems a little funny. All right. What if a woman inherited a haunted house only to discover a ghost inside is an ancient trickster god who refuses to let her move out until she becomes his bride? Maybe. What if a monster hunter accidentally slays the wrong beast only to discover she's magically soul bound to its furious, um, very much alive twin brother? Okay. All right. We put some twins in there. What if a human main character falls asleep on a subway, wakes up in the realm of monsters who all assume she's their prophesied queen, and the grumpiest, scariest one of all is her royal consort? All right, so it definitely went off the rails, but um, I feel like these are funny. Like, you can't tell me you would not want to read about an alien crash landing in the middle of Costco. Just, you'd have to pick it up. That is sheer, like, just book crack. I mean, I don't even know how else to like explain it to you. I don't really like the rest, the other half of the premise. Um, but the beginning of that is really, really funny. Um, the random guy brushing his teeth also seems funny. And then the same thing with the woman in DoorDash. So, to do, we're gonna start with this one, right? We'll just see where it goes. And so I think maybe we'll split it, and so we'll do one that's this one, and then one that's the witch, just so you can kind of see how all this works together, if you will. So the first thing is to fix this. You're like, cool. So I like premise 5, at least the first part of it. I like the what if an alien crash landed into the middle of Costco. I think that part is funny. The rest of it, not so much. Can I get a few other what if premise ideas with the idea of um, what if an alien warlord crashed into the middle of Costco? Like, what is the rest of that? Okay, right now this doesn't quite isn't 100% romance. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. All right, so variations, mistaken hierarchy. Amelia assumes Costco is Earth's palace. Greeters are gatekeepers. Blood Oath, the alien warlord is wounded, collapses in the freezer aisle, accidentally imprints on the first human that touches him. Binding to the main character, random shopper hunting for frozen pizza. That has potential. Let's see. Believes Costco is a galactic armory. Interesting. And enlists the main character, the floor manager, as his weapons master. Now, the galactic armory part sounds very interesting. Hostage situation, blocks down the store, demanding an offering to his planet's mightiest warriors. Galactic membership trial. Mistakes the Costco membership card for a symbol of planetary allegiance. Demands the main character and induct him into Earth's Sacred Warriors Guild. I don't know. That seems interesting. I'm thinking, I do think the Costco logo. Hold on. That just. Let's see. Costco logo. Sorry, you guys are going down this rabbit hole with me. No. Costco card. Costco card. Member logo. Okay. Because I was like, does it have like a space theme or something? Like, where is that coming from? Maybe it's that in terms of the overall background. Sorry, I just had to take you guys down a rabbit hole with me because I was like, wait, does it have that specific thing? Okay. Sorry. All right. Let's see. Consort clause. What if an alien law dictates whoever first defeats him in combat? Yada yada yada. Okay. All right. So I like parts of these. All right. So let's tell it. All right. So I like parts of these. I really like the alien warlord is wounded, collapses in the freezer aisle. So like that's number 2. The second premise, I do like that one. I also like this concept of the alien warlord believes Costco is a galactic armory. That's funny, that part of it. And I also really like this idea that the warlord mistakes the Costco membership card as a symbol of planetary allegiance. That's also very interesting. Okay, let's put this into a single what if. Okay, so what if an alien warlord crash landed into or in the middle of Costco, wounded, half delirious, and convinced the warehouse is Earth's sacred armory? The membership card is a symbol of planetary allegiance, and the random human who helps him in the freezer aisle is now his battle consort. Hmm. Let's see what else. Absurd meet cute. Collapse frozen pizza rolls. hmm hmm She thinks he's a cosplayer who passes out. That's interesting. Because technically, if he crash landed into the middle of a Costco, are we thinking like his spaceship? Um, let's go cultural misunderstanding. He believes pallets of crock pots and leaf blowers are doomsday weapons. I can see that. Romantic hook because she was the only one who touched and helped him. He interprets this as a sacred bond. She's now his internal war mate. Okay, all right. See, it threw in the romance angle. We're working through it. We're working through it. He thinks Earth is secretly preparing for intergalactic war, and Costco is our fortress. Meanwhile, she just wanted a $1.50 hot dog. Yes. Side note, totally random. I want to say I saw like a video about why Costco keeps their hot dogs at $1.50. And like they're not like raising the price on it, even though they're like losing a lot of money on it and things like that. He talks about like just wanting to feed people. I thought that was like pretty cool. Um, so yeah, sorry, random side thought. So I've got a few more questions. Da-da. Okay, for the most part, I like the premise. I do have a few additional like questions, things that I would like to clean up. For example, um, you mentioned that she thinks he's a cosplayer who has passed out. But the premise is that he crash landed into the middle of Costco. Um, we kind of need to like work through that part because if he crash landed into the middle of Costco, there are, you know, obvious like he just came through the roof, like he came in a ship. That's a lot different than thinking, um, he's a cosplayer who has passed out. Um, I like the angle of he's a cosplayer who's passed out a little bit more, or in the sense of like she thinks he is, but we need to reconcile this concept of he crash landed into Costco. Boom. Okay, but you see how we got it's very clearly, right? The crash landing, the whole ship in the Costco, mass panic, police cameras. No way she think he's a cosplayer, but the humor and the charm of that is too good to lose. Exactly. All right. So we're just gonna kind of continue working through it. Um, let's see. A few ways. Escape pod. Instead of a massive warship, he ejects into a one-person escape pod that plummets through the ceiling. It's smaller, chaotic, but contained. Okay. Maybe he smashes through the roof tile and lands on a frozen pile of pizzas. Ah, okay. I really don't like dimensional rift stuff. I think it's a little too overused. Okay, so I want to go with the escape pod. I think that's a pretty good idea. So, like you said, instead of a massive warship, ejects into a one-person escape pod, plummets into the ceiling. Maybe there is a storm outside of Costco, lightning, thunder, like it's pretty bad or something like that. I mean, we can even say maybe she came in for um, the dollar hot dog or the $1.50 hot dog, um, and hurricane supplies, right? And so the escape pod crashing into the ceiling could technically be masked. There you go. By the loudness of the storm. And then maybe he falls from the escape pod, right? So maybe the escape pod gets stuck in the like the rafters in the ceiling type of thing, and then he falls from there, you know, like onto a pile of something. Maybe they're like a bag of chips or something, or bags of chips, or boxes of chips. Whatever it is, he falls onto that. It being in the freezer out is kind of mildly funny. Um, but the Costco's not going to have a pile of frozen pizzas in the middle of the aisle. So that part doesn't make sense. But he should fall on something. Sure, customers scream and run. All that part makes sense. Um, and then her coming through with next level cosplay stunt type of thing. I think that works better, and could also make a lot more sense for it just being a random Tuesday. The female protagonist, which is our main character, is over 30. I also like this concept of like pizza rolls everywhere or something. That sounds really interesting. Um, or, like I said, chips everywhere, whatever that is that he falls on. Cool. So let's combine this into a updated single premise. Um, I guess I could read this out loud. Habit. Okay, so what if on a random Tuesday night during a raging storm, a bored over 30 woman ducks into a Costco for hurricane supplies and a $1.50 hot dog, only to witness the smoking one person escape pod rip through the ceiling, lodge in the rafters, and drop a massive battle scarred alien warlord into a mountain of bulk chips, which explodes into a glorious shower of snacks. Everyone else is running and screaming, but she lingers, convinced it must be some next level cosplay stunt until the cosplayer starts bleeding slow or glowing silver across the concrete and growling a language that makes the floors tremble. When she instinctively touches him, trying to help, he interprets it as as a sacred bond ritual. She's claimed him as her battle consort, and Earth is now his to defend, starting with aisle 17. Okay, it's not bad, right? I feel like we're getting somewhere. So I like that she touches him trying to help. That part makes sense. She thinks he's a cosplayer. It's the he interprets this as a sacred bond ritual. I think that happens too fast. It needs to feel a little more accidental, maybe. Each with different trope angles and emotional payoffs. So yeah, I would love to see 3 fully fleshed out romance premises. I do kind of want to say I do like this for the most part, but there's a part where we say he interprets it as a sacred bond ritual that feels too intentional. It feels too convenient. Well, all right. On those, yada yada yada. Right, correct. Um, let's see. Alternatives, battle instincts. He's injured, disoriented, and his culture, the first being who stabilizes him, is automatically recognized as an ally of war. That makes more sense. Costco membership. He sees her flash her Costco membership card at the food court, interprets it as a mark of leadership and authority. I don't think that one works. Logistical. He's too wounded to escape, too large to obviously hide, and she's the only one dumb slash brave enough to stick around. He decides she's his handler by default because everyone else fled. Okay, maybe. After falling into the mountain of chips slash pizza roll, she jokingly tossed him one, interprets it as a ceremonial offering of alliance. That might be interesting. I kind of like this one the best right now. The battle instinct imprint. All right, let's see. What if on a random Tuesday night during a hurricane, a weary 30-year-old woman ducks, escapes guard alien, bag of chips, customers fled, cosplay, by instinct, culture, and misunderstanding, he recognizes her as an ally and refuses to leave her side. I think we'll come back in a little bit and add in um, that Earth is now his to defend, and starting with aisle 17. I think we'll go back in and add that. All right. Setup, she's dramatic, sarcastic, surviving hurricane season, alien general, wounded, stranded, convinced Costco's Earth's fortress. He won't leave her. When he stays proven ally in his military house, she's now his commander. To her, she's a giant delusional cosplayer who needs an ER visit. Romantic arc, forced proximity, bickering, mutual respect. Her practicality, his warrior code, but slowly sparks form. Yada yada yada. Here are your tropes. Gropey sunshine, she's dry, he's intense. Accidental alliance, fish out of water comedy. Okay, STE moments. STE stands for sexual tension escalation. Um, it's part of the framework inside of the romance reactor. Just for context, he insists on guarding her bed during the storm. She rolls his eyes, wakes up to find him asleep, sitting upright. Massive hand protectively, wrapped protectively around hers. Okay. She flashed her Costco membership card. I don't like that one. Remember. Crashes into the mountain of chips. They scatter everywhere. Nerves. She grabs a bag of pizza roll, tosses them like you would calm a stray dog. Um, he solemnly accepts, interpreting as a ceremonial offering to him the bonding ritual of her people. Uh, Mm, that's definitely one of the things about working through this is actually trying to pick uh, a good premise because I kind of like the snack food one. But at the same time, I also really like the reluctant warlord handler thing. Decisions, decisions. All right. I think we're going to go with premise one. I think that's the better one, although I really want to throw in there something about like her tossing him snacks. Like there there's really interesting about that part. Um, because I do like this kind of she feeds him junk food and like he teaches her battle instincts. Like I really I love that part. And then pizza rolls, um, kind of the absurdity and trust. I like that part of the snack food alliance premise. So I do kind of want to throw that into our premise one, the reluctant warlord handler. And you have a part earlier where we talk about Earth is now his to defend, starting with aisle 17. I also wanted to keep that part um, from the original premise that we were working through. Cool. So give me a another updated premise, if you will, with these things in there. Okay, let's see. On a random Tuesday night during a raging storm, a weary over 30 woman ducks into a Costco for hurricane supplies and a $1.50 hot dog. Instead, she witnesses a one-person escape pod tear through the roof, wedge in the rafters, and drop a massive battle-scarred alien warlord onto a mountain of bulk chips. While customers are scattering, she lingers thinking it's some next level cosplay stunt until the cosplayer starts bleeding glowing silver across the concrete and growling in a voice that rattles the shelves. Instinct drives her to help, and in his culture, the one who stands fast when others flee is an ally. To him, she is now his only Earth handler, his unexpected commander, and Earth is his to defend, starting with aisle 17. Too wounded to leave and too stubborn to admit she's out of her depth, they fall into absurd routine. She keeps him alive with Costco snacks, feeding the 7-foot alien warlord pizza rolls like he's a stray dog, and he insists on teaching her battle instincts in case Earth enemies arrive. Sarcasm clashes with military intensity, but trust and sparks ignite between junk food and strategy sessions. As the storm rages and danger closes in, the reluctant woman and her warlord find themselves bonded together, not by prophecy, not by ritual, but by Tripp's courage and a ridiculous accident of survival. Okay. Um, that seems to me very interesting. I mean, I just kind of want you to see the process um, that we went through, just in terms of figuring out what kind of book we wanted to write. So now we have our overall premise, and at this point we can start like filling out the premise card. So we're going to switch back over so you can see to our premise card, and we're just going to like copy. Yep, come on, come on. Okay, awesome. So hit copy. Don't be weird. Hit copy. All right, minimize that. Cool. You should be like, okay, I have a premise card that I would like your assistance in filling out based off the premise that we just created above, the Reluctant Warlord's Handler. I'm going to give you the premise card below. Yep, boom. All right, so here is our premise card. Our working title, The Reluctant Warlord's Handler. Vibe, Costco chaos meets interstellar war epic rom-com absurdity with a pulse of genuine heart and heat. Tone and mood, tone, witty banter, grounded comedy with streaks of dark sci-fi grandeur. Mood, claustrophobic, stormy night intimacy, absurd trust building over snacks, uh, slow burn tenderness, blooming against looming galactic danger. So, you know, if we write this at some point, right, maybe a book or two in, maybe we'll get to the looming galactic danger. Who knows? Let's see, primary romantic tropes, grumpy sunshine, accidental alliance, forced proximity, protector romance with comedic twist. Our ideal love interest, battle-hardened alien general, 7-foot scarred warlord, rigid honor code, intense and intimidating, but vulnerable in his injuries, awkward with earth culture, expectantly soft when fed junk food. That's going to be interesting. Relationship setup, woman over 30, buying hurricane supplies and a hot dog, stranded alien warlord, who believes one who stays as an ally, accidental, she becomes his handler, and we might adjust handler to like partner or something like that. Culture slash world building, Costco as a fortress, storm over cover, alien warlord culture, and the wild card twist. His enemies track his pod to Earth. Costco siege at night. She discovers feeding him junk food doesn't just keep him alive, it accelerates his healing. That's interesting. He tries to teach her alien battle instincts, but her earth instincts, like hitting someone with a bulk peanut jar, proves just as effective. Okay, so we're setting up an entire alien thing inside of Costco. I didn't see that coming. Did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming. All right, so output goals, escape pod, uh, mistaken cosplay, junk free trust building, battle training, siege showdown. Okay. Our STE ideas, feeding him pizza rolls, physically correcting her stance, Um, Sharing a quiet storm wrapped moment. Okay. Just the covers. Strength, his enemies arrive. She is faced with an impossible choice. Okay. And thanks for sticking around. Just like that, we have our overall idea and premise. There's a few things that I think will need to kind of be worked through. But this is kind of can happen like within the story. So, for example, um, the people have run. There's also probably not a lot of people there, is what I'm thinking. Since a hurricane is coming, maybe it's a kind of a last minute thing, and there's only a handful of people in the store. So, maybe when the crash happens, or something, they leave, or um, maybe even the Costco loses power and it's now dark. Um, so, like I said, there are still a few logistics that, for me, kind of need to be worked through, explained. But overall, you just got your first premise card, and you see we started from the witch and the demon and the grimoire, all the way, having that idea or having some sort of place start, all the way to not even having a clue of, where to start, just knowing your global setting and the style of romance that you want to write. And we just got there's now an alien warlord who crashed into a Costco, right? So thanks for hanging out with me. Maybe we'll continue these series. Like I said, I feel like these are really interesting premises, and we didn't even really get to the next part of the setup where you kind of want to make a project. Remember, hustle over hype, keep grinding, keep shining. I'm Morgan the Mogul, and you have a great